Today, we're breaking down three of the most popular differentials in RC drifting: a locked spool, the Yokomo gear diff, and the Rhino Racing CLSD. Each one of these has its own unique feel, its own strengths, and its own quirks. And by the end of this video, you'll know which one fits your driving style best. Hey guys, I'm Cam, and welcome back to Shredcraft RC. Now, if you've been in the RC drifting hobby for any amount of time, I'm sure you've heard the debate on which differential is best to run in your drift car. So today, I have three examples of the most popular differentials: a locked spool, the Yokomo gear differential, and the Rhino Racing CLSD. So, what really sets them apart? What makes one snap like a light switch and one feel buttery smooth? Well, today we're going to talk about it. Whether you're chasing smooth tandems, cinematic POV shots, or just looking for that perfect throttle feel, this video will help you pick the right differential for your build. So what is a differential and how does it control your driving? It might look like a small part for your build. What a differential does is it gets the power to your wheels. And with RC drifting, a lot of this comes down to personal preference. So a lot of the things I say are going to be subjective for how you have your car set up, because if you tune with a spool, your suspension and rear end geometry may be slightly different compared to running the CLSD. So a spool differential is a locked differential. I cannot turn each one of these outdrive cups independently. It is completely locked. The wheels on a locked differential spin at the same rate. The other two are slightly different. So with a Yokomo gear differential, will come stock in most Yokomo kits, there is a set of spider gears, and I'll put up a diagram here. There is 4 gears in here that interlock, allowing the wheels to move independently, and then you control the openness of this differential with different silicone oil viscosities. And I believe this Yokomo kit came stock with 7,000 weight. However, a lot of people run lighter weight oils to have a more open differential feeling. And then with the CLSD, as you'll see in this diagram, this is controlled by a set of planetary gears inside this housing. As the transmission spins this differential, the wheels will spin both in the same direction, but also independently, giving you a lot of smooth control with the CLSD. Let's start with the spool, also known as a locked differential. A few of the key points, I guess, to a spool differential. Number one is that they're super easy to use. Now, this is what comes stock in a Rev D RDX. This is the actual differential. Spools also come stock in a number of other kits, and I think that is because they are so easy to use. Things that I noticed when using a spool differential is that the car snaps really fast. So you have a really sudden and snappy transition. They're also very consistent, and they're also very good on low grip surfaces. So I tend to use one if I want to run the car outside. Since both wheels are moving at the same speed, it's going to help give you a little more traction and pull out of the corners. I know a lot of people say that they like them on smooth concrete surfaces. The drawback with these is because they are so snappy, you really have to be really good with your throttle control. Sometimes it's a good piece to have for beginners who are using them because they'll help a new person to the hobby really learn good throttle control. If you're new to the hobby, don't worry about upgrading the differential right away, because this will help you really dial in your throttle control. Next up, we have the gear diff. So as you can see, there's some resistance because of the heavy oil in this, but I am able to rotate each one of these outdrives independently. That's a good factor of a gear diff, is that you can pop these screws off, change the viscosity of the oil, and do some fine tuning with the differential. And I even know some people that are running these with only 2 of the spider gears to decrease the resistance and the spinning nature of these differentials. With being able to tune a gear diff, there is a good balance between kind of the locked, snappy feeling like the spool has here, but also a good balance because you can tune the control and the amount of wheel spin that you have, especially in tighter corners or tracks that have tighter layouts and different surfaces. So like carpet or P-tile, where you need to have a little more resistance instead of having a fully locked diff, this is a great option. and it's an option that I personally started with and I still enjoy driving. This is the differential out of the Rookie Drift 2.0. There is also lower maintenance. I mean, I don't really hear many stories of people blowing these out. Really, all you have to do is check the oil once in a while, make sure it's still in there. This one is a little wet. It's just kind of the nature of these plastic sheathed differentials that they will leak a little bit of fluid over time. Again, I'll try and put a diagram up here showing what the internals look like on these differentials. I have this one set up pretty stiff with the stock Yokomo 7000 weight. My plan is to run that Yokomo RD2 as an outside car, so I tend to keep this one a little stiffer than what I keep my CLSD at. And finally, we have the CLSD. This is my personal favorite differential for RC drifting. This is what I run in my RDX, and I have run it in a number of other chassis, and I just tend to take this differential with me for whatever car I'm running. CLSD because it's a centrifugal, pardon my pronunciation there, limited slip differential. So it uses internal planetary gears to help lock up the wheels under higher RPM, but under lower RPM it's completely open. So you can see I can spin these, they'll spin independently, but when the transmission spins this, they lock up. And there are a number of different configurations you can run on this differential. You can run 4 gears and 4 springs, and then they have different thicknesses of springs to negate the RPM in which this differential will lock up at. Things I like about this diff is that there's no oil in it. I run it dry, maybe with just a drop of oil to reduce any binding up of metal on metal surfaces. It's a very smooth differential, meaning I have tons of control, especially in tight corners, and especially when I'm filming and chasing other cars. I'm really able to control and put the car where I want it and control how the power comes on with this diff. It's great for mid-corner control. So when you're in the corner and you need to get on the brakes, you can actually see the inside wheel sometimes slow down compared to the outside wheel. Very little maintenance. Sometimes I've seen videos where guys blow these out, but they are probably running on a higher traction or higher friction surface than what I'm running on with polished concrete. Since we run on polished concrete, it's very low friction. I haven't personally had the need to rebuild this diff. It's still as buttery smooth as it was the day I built it. So they can wear out over time, but they do make kits. They also make a lightweight version of this differential with plastic cups and a plastic gear, I believe. And I forgot what the weight difference is, but it's fairly light. We can throw all 3 of these on the scales to see the difference. So I think this diff is ideal because it kind of gives you more of a realism setup, and it really helps you have a smooth drifting car, even in transitions and snapping to drift on initiations. This diff is the winner in my book. So let's just take a look at the different weights here. Now I'm assuming that the spool is going to be the lightest. It's all plastic, has a few steel hex screws in there, but if we set that down there, it doesn't roll off. It looks like we're right at 14 grams. The gear differential, right at 27 grams. And then the heavyweight hitter, CLSD, get that without rolling, 34 grams, so definitely the heaviest one out of the bunch. So this is kind of how I break down these differentials. A spool is going to be snappy on your initiation. It's also going to have a little more harsh throttle control. Your realism factor is going to look maybe a little off because this is going to give the car more of robotic movements. It's really going to be snappy on transition and going back to fourth, mainly because both wheels are spinning at the same rate. The gear diff has a nice balanced feel. It's going to be kind of in that middle level for realism. It's also tunable, which is a very nice factor for the gear differential. And then on the CLSD, this is going to be your smoothest action. It's going to be the most precise. It's going to give you the greatest realism effect in how the car transitions and how the car feels. So a spool gives you a great foundation for the building blocks in learning, throttle control, and being really smooth on the trigger, which I think is one of the most important bases of RC drifting in the hobby, is throttle control. So there's nothing wrong with the spool. I know a lot of people that drive with the spool and they just have never felt the need to change it because it's what they're comfortable with. It's also very consistent and you have the same results every time you enter, where a gear diff or a CLSD may have a little bit of variable to them, but once you learn them, it kind of becomes second nature, especially when you learn to drive with a lot of grip and a lot of traction. So to wrap it all up, the spool gives you full lock in the most consistent grip, but sacrifices in the low speed corners and some of the detailed handling aspects. The gear diff offers the smoothest response and tunability with different oils, but can feel unpredictable and sometimes too loose. But again, this is very subjective. The CLSD offers the highest level of tunability and some of the smoothest driving in my experience. And the CLSD is the winner in my book. It kind of gives you the most options for tuning. It also gives you the most amount of feeling of control when driving the car, especially in tight corners or if you're chasing other drivers. And it's my personal favorite that I've run for years and years, and I absolutely love that differential compared to any of these other options. So I hope some of that information helped fill you guys in and help you guys make a choice for which differential you'd like to run in your car depending on your driving style, your track surface, or how your car's set up. Again, with this hobby, there's so much tuning and so many variables in how you get your car driving, how you want it to feel, and that's one of the most important things, is that you can't just always watch a video or listen to what somebody says on the forums, because how they have their car set up may be drastically different from how you have your car set up. So it's not just a cheat code where you can copy and paste someone else's tune. It really does take some time to dial it in and get the car feeling how you want it to feel in your hands. So if you guys have tried any of these diffs or you have different experiences, definitely let me know down in the comments. I would love to hear what you guys are using and how you guys have your cars set up. It's always interesting seeing the wide variety of tunes and setups on these little RC drift cars. So tell me which RC drift differential is your favorite, and I'll be sure to respond down in the comments below. Also, if you guys haven't subscribed, I know only 20% of my viewers are subscribed to the channel, but if you found this video helpful, it does me a huge help to hit that thumbs up, leave a comment, leave a like, and be sure to subscribe for more awesome RC content from Shredcraft RC. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching. Peace.
Drift all night under city stars, RC rebels breaking bars. Shredcraft tune ignites the spark. We'll own the streets till it turns dark.